Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Welcome to the channel. Thank you guys. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your day. I don't know what time it is where you're at. What are you eating, drinking, smoking? What are you guys doing? Where are you in the world? Guys, it's January 2nd, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's going on in the world, at least here in the United States. Please like, subscribe, and share, as always. Half of you aren't subscribed and you're just watching, and that's fine, but it doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and it would mean a lot. So I really would appreciate it. It's the currency on the internet. Guys, I don't know what happened here. You know, I've always been fascinated with the tiny house movement and with houses, on wheels. And I found it innovative, and I thought, and I'm thinking that when I retire, perhaps that's the way that I would like to live, with Danny, because I think Milo will be gone at that point. He's old, my little boy. But, and I thought, that I don't know that I want to buy anything, especially in the state of New York, because taxes are just outrageous. So if I'm not working here, I probably won't be living here. But I would invest in something that, I could thrive in and not feel trapped in having and perhaps losing. As most people here in the United States, I honestly believe, live from paycheck to paycheck. And living in a car now is not by choice, not by innovation, strictly because people can't afford to pay rent. People cannot afford to live in this country, and we've watched this happen. And we haven't done anything about it, or I haven't done anything about it. But I've watched, when I was younger, we had baggers. We had people that bagged the groceries. They had a job. They bagged the groceries, took your little trolley out to the car and unloaded the groceries for you, and you tipped them. We do everything on our own now. We live in a self-serve country, and we pay a premium to live here. And I've said that. I've been saying that for years, that we live in a self-serve country but pay a premium. All of the work that we do to get in touch with doctors and insurance companies and banks, and even when they make the mistake, it is us on the phone that is put on hold, listening to music that is too loud in our ear or too soft that we can't even hear it. We have lost our voice, and we grew up thinking this is the best country ever. Maybe it is for you. I'm disappointed in this country. But we grew up with the same propaganda, I figured out, as every other country. In North Korea, they're convinced that they are the best country. We are convinced, and we teach the kids in this school, in our country, that we are the best country. Then why do we have veterans that have served in our war? Why are they homeless? Why are the elderly who have worked their whole lives not given enough money to keep a place over their head, that they live in a Honda Pilot? Why do college students who are just trying to get ahead and make their lives better live in Chevys? Since when is it okay? I mean, there was a stigma about living in a mobile home, a trailer park trash. Remember that shit? People still say that. I was very happy. I lived in a trailer. I lived in a mobile home park. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I love tiny houses. I loved it. I found no shame in it. I would rather live there than in this apartment. I would rather have lived there than in the house that I just left. But now, you would say, hey, where do you live? Let me show you my Honda Element. Let me show you my Chevy van. Let me show you my, Cutlass Classic. Because people are trying to survive, right? People are trying to survive. So they pack up their whole life and they put them in cars so that they have a roof over their head and some warmth and shelter. And somehow we found this to be okay. All the customer care when I was growing up is gone. People don't. We work for ourselves in everything we do, even before we get to work. And then after all of this, when we retire, we never make enough money to pay our bills. How is that living? Are we supposed to work until we're 80? The things that we're saving for later, what if we don't make it till later? I love when people say, well, you got to save for your future. You got to eat and enjoy life too, because if you don't make it to your future, if something happens and you aren't here to make it to your future, then what did you do with your life? You kept living for then that you never made it to. There has to be a balance, but it's impossible because half of us are living paycheck to paycheck. I have a nephew who has 2 jobs. He lives down in the Keys. He has 2 jobs. The Keys are very expensive, but that's where he grew up. So he's a hardworking kid, works 2 jobs, but a hurricane could take him out. A hurricane could level him financially. If God forbid he broke a leg, and because both of the jobs are physical, there is nothing here for that. There is no regard for people. And now you see online too. You the snarky, the mean, there's kindness too. There's kindness too. Don't get me wrong. But what the hell happened here? Guys, I'm curious. I'm curious to know what you guys think. And I'm not a political channel, so I really don't want to make this about politics. Just about people's attitudes and just about how we've come to accept this. Listen, I play a role in this too. I remember, I was a script writer, right? So I used to write my scripts out and I used to send them out because that would before email, before you could send anything like that in an email, 120-page script or a 72-page script, whatever it was. And I sent them out to many agencies. I kept the post office in business now, or then. I haven't sent a script out, man, and everything's email. It's crazy. So I was part of that. And at one point I recognized it. When I stopped sending my scripts out, I was like, well, I'm going to put the post office out of business and I'm going to stop buying all this copy paper. I know that technology and everything evolves. Somewhere human and what we think of people has not. That's not followed suit here. It's like if we can make up an AI world and live in it, it seems like that's what we're going to do, right? But that can't be. That can't be. People living in their cars, that's not, nobody grows up and says, yeah, well, I want a Chevy Cavalier. Call that place home. This isn't because this is what people want. This is because what people have to do in the United States of America to live here. You have to have more than one job. And then we have to have respect when we're walking past people that have less than us. I don't know, guys. I wanted to put this out there because it's sad. It's sad. It's something that I'd like to talk about. I don't understand how people can work so hard their whole life and be put out of their home and just left. I don't understand how it's so heartless. I don't understand how other countries can provide so much more, and we can't figure that out. So anyway, guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. I wanted to share a few videos with people, living in their car and making it work, and how it's become normalized, All right, guys, be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Always be kind. Thanks.
Welcome to Glorious Life on Wheels. The story I'm sharing today is probably one of the saddest I've ever aired, and demonstrates that everyone living in a van as a nomad is not doing so by choice. This is Teresa, who lives and sleeps in the front seat of her minivan.
Meantime, San Diego's rules for people living in their cars could change.
In fact, this comes after a lawsuit settled this year set new rules for how the city is allowed to enforce ordinances.
Moved to different spots on the street. It's a very difficult thing to go through.
She's one of several people hoping to benefit from the class action federal lawsuit against the city, as she's losing the roof over her head once again.
I will be living in a vehicle, and I will be experiencing the new laws.
Hi, I'm Zee Desire, and I want to thank you, Patrick, for having me on New Jersey Outdoors Adventures. I want to show you guys how I live in my car from day to day. So the first thing I want to show you guys is how I get in my car and I start my day. So at first, when I'm up and ready, I want to do my makeup and brush my teeth. So for my makeup, I grab this mirror out the side of the door, and I just stick it right in here. If I need extra light, I also have a light right here that I could just turn around and use. And then for my makeup, I have a little makeup bag I got for $1 from Goodwill that I could just zip down and put on my makeup. To brush my teeth, I always try to keep it simple. I keep everything in this middle drawer, and I keep my mouthwash on the side. When I pull up to a car wash, it's a good area to have some privacy with this door here, and I just lift this up, and I take my scoop and I scoop it. And it's the best way to do it if you want privacy. This toilet I could show on the other side, but I put it in the middle and I use that inside the vehicle when I need to. It comes in handy when you have IBS. This is a great car to buy. I feel like it's underrated. There's so many cars that are the Chevy Cavalier posted on Facebook Marketplace for such a cheap price, and there's nothing wrong with them. So people definitely overlook them. They're good cars, especially if you're in college. I originally had a schoolie, and it didn't go so well, so I just decided that it would be best for me to stay in my car and save up. Maybe in the future I will get a schoolie of my dreams, but for right now, this definitely has been helping me. So over here, this is where I sleep.